to online learning. In fact, if we look at the way AR VR is able to really transform the way learning can take place, is much better than even a physical space experiment. But nevertheless, I quite often say that still physical experiments and physical handling of some of those equipments, hands-on learning, will continue to be important. For example, driving of a car or flying of an aircraft or getting into a ship and then driving it. All of this will certainly require hands-on practical experience on the real life boat or real life the car or real life aircraft. But many other things can be learnt in a simulation method so that your real requirement of learning on the actual equipment will get reduced. I think that is the power of again technology. We have also a portal called NEET, National Educational Alliance for Technology, under which artificial intelligence based personalized learning is possible. And these are various types of edtech companies, small and big. Some of them are multinationals like IBM, Microsoft, and Google, and all of those. But on the other end of the spectrum, we also have small startups who created a product from just having graduated last but 1 year from an IIT or NIT, and even from small colleges. They have built beautiful platforms where students can learn many of the courses which otherwise appear to be very difficult for students even in a classroom. And these are all AI based. That means understanding the level of learning of a student and then taking him through a journey or through a path that is very very smooth for a particular person, and depending on his capabilities, someone may do it a little faster, someone may do it a little slower, but the end result, the outcome achieved at the end of that, when the student goes through that entire product, would be the same levels of competencies will be developed in the students. And as I said, the route may be different. In life also we go to a same destination through different routes. Some distance is shorter, some distance is longer, you will take some detour. All of that can also happen in education sector, and then such technologies will help our students to learn. And then most important part of all of this is how technology will further enable our students to learn what they like. Most important thing in life is the passion which a particular individual has. If he is not able to satisfy that, he will always remain disturbed. And in a college or in a university, if a student is asked only to do, say he has taken a program in electronics and communication engineering, and only that, he will get bored. Sometimes student has some multiple tastes, and the tastes, like, someone is interested in music, someone may be in painting, someone may be interested in philosophy or psychology. If that course is also allowed to be taken by the student for both credit or even for audit, he will be enthused. Whatever is required to be learnt in other subjects, he will start doing better, because he feels that there is an opportunity in this institution for learning whatever I like. And such students will get invigorated, they will become inspired, and they will do splendid job in their own whatever subject as well as in other subjects as well. And we have found in umpteen number of institutions where such liberal attitude was there, and what we call humanities and social sciences courses and other sciences were also allowed to be taken by students as special electives or open electives. The students have performed exceedingly well in those courses because they are of their interest. And we have tried in some of the institutions where you have also learning to learn, or self-learning is also important. Therefore, allow students, even if teacher does not exist, to allow the student to what you call register for a course of his choice, and he may be able to do it through Swayam. In the beginning you said that the Swayam was created, and therefore Swayam is one platform where thousands of courses are available in all domains, and one can do it both as a credit transfer, which earlier we used to allow 20% and it is increased to 40% now. And on the other end, one can, even if the credit is not allowed by your university for self-learning, you can make use of it. And it is not just while you are a student, but even after graduation and one goes out of the system, in the company where you have got a job, if there is a new technology which has come in and you require to operate on that, you require to deal with that, you require to use that, And if you have not been taught that because you didn't have that in your college, you cannot keep quiet. These portals are useful for you lifelong. Learning to learn, lifelong learning, and learning on your own is all becoming so valuable because technologies are changing so rapidly. And that is where again this platform like Swayam will be coming in handy. The new education policy again talks about multidisciplinary approach, and that also matches with this. The interest of the student should be dealt with. A university or college may have multiple faculty, then it's fine. In-house also one can learn. Otherwise, through what we call internet-based learning, whether it is through Swayam or maybe through some other medium from some other university, a person should be in a position to take the courses. The new policy also talks about academic bank of credits and flexibility in terms of exiting at any point in time if he is not fitting into the system, or if he has some liking for some other thing, or if he has some difficulty in the family and therefore he wants to quit and maybe sometime later wants to come back. The learning what he has done in that period up to which he was there in the institution, college or university, should not go waste. So a student may go with an exit at the end of 1 or 2 years, carrying a certificate, carrying a diploma. These are possibilities. Or he will store those credits in his account, which is called academic bank of credits, and come back after a couple of years when he's settled down and now he's in a mood to continue the education. He can continue in the same institute, or he can take these credits to another institution and try to do the remaining part of the program or some other program, making use of some of these credits and complete his degree. So these are fantastic opportunities that have been created in the new education policy. The regulatory framework has to allow all of these things, and there are several committees set up who are all doing various types of work in order to really make others understand the nuances of that are being worked out. And as part of the regulation, when they are opened up, many students will be able to make use of this. We have another part which is studying your courses in higher education, in particular even technical education, through mother tongue. This is a big challenge. Earlier also there were some attempts, but they failed because there were no textbooks available in those languages. And therefore, AICT, when it started asking people to also allow students to take courses in engineering in their mother tongue, there are possibilities that we will work out and give you textbooks. Many institutions have come forward, 14 of them, to run in 5 different languages. We were prepared for 8, but only 5 languages have come forward. And we are creating textbooks in terms of all engineering courses in those disciplines, as well as translation of the best MOOC courses that are already available on Swayam. They are all getting translated. And we have developed an auto translation tool, which will do the job of about 90% accuracy. And we require minimum support help from some of the leading faculty members to correct the remaining 10% error which still creeps in because the auto translation tool does not understand. It is not so intelligent. It has to still become better and better in terms of the building of artificial intelligence is an ongoing process. Maybe another 5 years time, it can do nearly 99% accurate translation. Even contextual reference, it has to understand, which today it doesn't understand. It just picks up the word from the dictionary and replaces it. But if you have multiple words, depending on the earlier paragraph and the things that are happening, how it can really relate with that topic and pick up the right word. These are not difficult things. Training of the software in terms of all of this will certainly make it happen. And we are moving in that direction slowly and steadily. But I will come to three other parameters which are very, very important, which we started off as AICT as a earlier regulatory body, but now we have taken up the role of facilitator. So the curriculum revision, which we have been often talking about, that it should happen in the university, but if it doesn't happen there, we are giving it on the platter to the universities to adopt. We have involved best faculty from best institutions in the country, IITs, NITs, and also from the industry, and a curriculum which is going to create jobs, which is going to be making our students employable. Such curriculum is given. And to train the faculty in those courses which have been added, such as AI, IoT, machine learning, our Atal Academy programs have been continuously happening. And that is where we are indulging in training of faculty in a big way, creating world record, 948 workshops in last one pandemic year, creating 1,65,000 trained teachers. We have examination reforms, and unless exams are in a different format, not the rote learning format, but in the form of Bloom's taxonomy of understanding, critical thinking, analytical ability, creativity, and innovation, we will not be able to spur innovation movement in our country. And therefore, examination reforms workshops for faculty, value system, to bring in values, which is often talked about in the policy as well. We have got student induction program of 3 weeks duration. All of these are driving us towards a new India, which is going to be not only having education in a blended mode, but also will be invigorating, will be challenging on one side, but inspiring, wherein inquisitiveness will improve in the minds of the students and ultimately lead to innovation and creation of startups from out of the campuses and creation of the jobs. And that is the real goal of the education after all. And we are moving in that direction. There is a long way to go. Gross enrollment ratio also has to increase, access has to increase, technology enablement also has to increase. But nevertheless, the baby steps which have been taken during the last 5-6 years, and in particular during pandemic, are going to lead to a very successful new India, which is very, very, passionate in driving not just our country, but the whole world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. That was very informational, and I think truly we are on the course with your guidance to set the new mission for the education sector to happen in this country. So we also have a few questions that have come to us from some of our delegates who are attending on the event platform. With your permission, if we can take a couple of them.
I'm also reading those questions. You can ask some question, and I will also I'm also reading.
Sure, sir. So, sir, one of them is that how can we provide the industry the relevant training case study based to all the students, particularly who are staying in tier 2 or tier 3 city colleges?
The first and foremost is we have made internship mandatory for the last 3 years. But we are seeing the light of the day gradually. So I think many institutions of tier 2, tier 3 cities who have less access to the industry. We have an internship portal. If allowed, I will be able to show it, but otherwise people can simply Google and find out AICT's internship portal. There are thousands of industries who have pitched for internship opportunities. They may range from maybe 50, somewhere 100, somewhere 1,000. Yeah, for example, IBM or Cisco, etc., are providing large number of opportunities of internships. But there are small startups, small companies may be giving in tens and hundreds. But we have reached about 2.5 lakh. Our target is about reaching to first 1 million and then subsequently 10 million opportunities for all our students. And these are the opportunities which students from tier 2, tier 3 cities should make use of. And during pandemic, because physical internships are not feasible, not possible because of the corona infection danger, we have been having virtual internships as well. So students can really virtually move around in a company, see the surroundings and what things are happening, and some challenging assignments are given. Some mentor from the industry constantly guides them, helps them in understanding, and also become problem solvers. The ultimately industry wants people who understand problem and who have capability of solving the problem. I think that they are the two most critical things. And in the process, you have to learn many other facets. That is, how do you work in teams? Because the products are all multidisciplinary, and therefore, how do you engage with others? How do you communicate? How do you manage time? All of these traits, whether it is our hackathons or during internship, students learn them. And this is as much an opportunity for tier 1 city colleges to tier 2 or tier 3.
Sure, sir. So there was another question that um, do you feel that there would be limitations in thinking the examples covered in the AR? So maybe teacher or students may not think or make or connect to real life situations?
No, I think that is where innovation comes in. In
Hmm.
fact, that is why we are training teachers through those faculty development programs, as well as whatever we have made as mandatory for teacher certification modules, 8 modules, and 1 month of internship for faculty also before they get regularized, and then they start practicing it. This is the time when faculty have to become innovative. How do you ask questions in a class? How questions asked by the student have to be answered? In fact, there is a lot of give and take which happens in a classroom. Both are learners. In fact, teacher should not feel that he is only deliverer. He also learns in the process, because when a typical difficult question is asked by a student, your initiation happens actually in terms of learning something new and coming back to the class in the next class and then tell it. And therefore it is mutual learning which is going to happen, and therefore I think people will gradually start giving real life situational examples. Initially it is difficult, because all of us have gone through a grill where we were never taught like that, and that's why our teachers also went through that grill. Now we have to change them. Attitudinal change, habit change, as well as learning change. All of this certainly cannot happen overnight, but the direction in which we are moving, some of the excellent workshops that we have conducted for faculty members, training of hundreds of thousands of teachers, this is what is going to transform. This is what going to change.
Sure. So we'll take maybe 2 more questions very quickly. What is the future of learning management system in higher education?
No, I think this is already happening, so I don't want to tell about this. Many institutions started with Moodle, which is an open source one. Subsequently, there are many platforms which people can use, including Google Classroom, to any other platform. Some of them are free, and you can just simply adopt them in your circumstances and start using. So I don't want to deal. So there is a future, and people must use. But one interesting question I'm seeing, so I would like to answer that. How do you tackle screen addiction?
Yes, I was coming to that one.
So that was very catchy. This is certainly having a psychological impact, no doubt. We are all human beings. We call human beings, Homo sapiens, as social animals. Compared to
Right.
any other animal kingdom, you take dog, cat, elephant. They also socialize. They also move in herds. But the kind of activities that human being, in terms of development of the brain, left and right brain, which does a lot of activities, creative things, they are not done by any of the animals. They may be for hunting, for food, etc. They do innovate. It's not that they don't, but the kind of innovation, you look at painting. No animal does painting. You have creative sculpting, which we do. Different types of pottery we design. We design a lot of through design thinking, a lot of new technologies. We invent a lot of things. Very few animals are capable of even one fraction of what we do. And for all of this, we need to come together. We have to mix with each other. We have to engage with each other. And that is human. And that humanness has to come back. And therefore, certainly this screen has created a problem. But we were helpless. This pandemic was not invited by anyone and given a न्योता दे के बुलाया नहीं था. So it has come and we have to live with it. And that's why we are with this screen addiction phase. But what we need to do during this time is we must have some kind of psychological counseling. Even that on the screen itself doesn't matter, but actually talking to each other. This word social distancing itself is creating a problem. It is not social distancing, it is physical distancing to not catch the coronavirus, but we must be socially strongly connected. We should talk to each other, students and teachers, students and parents. If we indulge in that, I think even though we are addicted to screen and we are helpless, we will have a lesser impact, number one. And number two, yesterday itself we had an international yoga day. Why can't you take a break of about half an hour? Do your yoga exercise. You do slightly half an hour of meditation. I think all these negativities will vanish. And even though you will be required to be on the screen for about 10 hours, 12 hours a day, that intermediate gap, that half an hour gap once in a while, talking to someone, having a cup of tea, going out a little bit and coming in, will certainly eliminate all the psychological impact of the screen time.
Sure. Thank you very much.